Muted.
That allows people to access those reports over the web. Won't talk much about the other three modules today, but they are there. It's one tool to do everything in Microsoft. It takes, Management Reporter, Forecaster, SQL reporting services, and a way to make some cubes or a data warehouse with a programmer to do everything that we do. And that's just a lot of tools to learn. Here, learn one tool and do everything. So, this reporting and everything I'm going to show today is live reporting right on the GP database. So I will be using the Fabricam or the World Online example company. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first report that I have. And I will stop now and 2 other times see if there are any questions.
No, I'm not
free to ask if there. I am in Excel. I'm in Excel 2013. I have a BI 360 reporting and planning menu that we've added as we put this in. That reporting menu includes this little designer menu that's here that we can use or not use, and that really, at its simplest, adds a run button to a BI 360 template. So if I look at this, I have 5 different rows that are going to grab data from the Fabric, and there'll be revenues and other revenue, cost of sales, employee expenses, and operating expenses, and of course the grand total net at the bottom. It's a profit and loss statement, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. I can run it for whatever set of departments that I want to. I can include or not include any of the ones that I want to. I can include whatever period that I want to, and that's the best month for Fabricam. I press the run button. It's doing the query out to that SQL data that I have, adding it up and displaying it inside Excel. So the first thing I want you to notice is our report got longer. All of those revenues, got about 20 some accounts in there. Employee expenses, operational expenses, and there's our profit and loss. Compared, of course, month to budget, it got longer. I'll show you exactly how in a minute. Second thing, we have our right-click drill down. So if I right-click on this, go past the normal things you see on a right-click in Excel, I can go down and see either the summary or detailed transactions of Dynamics GP and show that. And in fact, in sales and GP, it's kind of great because I have not only these great fields. It's a receivable or a payable transaction that I'm using. That actually starts filtered, so I can, if I want to, all the way to the right, or the debits and credits and the net amount and so on. So I can do that on each and every field here. Separate query drill down makes it efficient in using the queries to the database. Third thing I want you to notice is that all of our formulas and formatting and graphs are Excel. So, D10 minus E10. This is standard Excel stuff. But you can use any of those you want. The manage rules is here. We kind of have the 5% change if I take a look at that. But again, it's whatever you want it to do to have the red and green arrows accordingly. And I'm going to undo this report at the moment and go in, is we have what we've called metadata. So how many people know what the GP who isn't from Paradigm? And the answer is, with BI 360, you don't have to know that. And that's the big thing that we have. So if I hover over here, you can kind of see some of these field names pop up. But what you need to know is we've named these what you want to. We've taken our account string and named those segments like account, department, and division, whatever. Again, every organization's set different, and not only how many segments they have, but what they call them. So we set that up and we use that metadata accordingly. Okay. So taking a look at the revenues, and I'm just going to change this report just a little bit. I have here the GL accounts, the natural accounts that I have for 4,000 through 4,112. And this could have a description, although it doesn't in this one. If I wanted to, I could just highlight this like that. And maybe I want to add another account. And I like to show that because, one, I know that accounts never stay in order for very long. It always seems to get out of order. That's fine. So I included 4180 here. If I go back and take a look at this one, I can also go in and take my other revenues and have that be 4176 through the rest of the 4,000s. And I will unclick 4180, which is the one I had moved to the next one up. So again, that immediately changed that to two different ranges. And I'm ready to run this report. This expanding button is what says, hey, take each of these ranges, and instead of what FRX and Management Reporter does, total them up, print them on the next line here. It says print each one that has transactions underneath it, you know, that right-click drill down would do, or, you know what, show them all, even if there's no records there. We tend to use that last one more for budgeting than other things, but there are times you want it and times you don't, so we made it a choice. I'm going to run this again. So again, doing the query, watch row 8, watch row 11, they're going to expand. And I now have there. I don't have it anymore in the other GL account, so we're kind of ready to go there. So, okay, let's move on. I'm who do this, they want to see it from scratch. So I'm starting with a totally blank Excel spreadsheet. I'm hitting the BI 360 new blank option. I'm going to pick GP as my data source. I'm going to choose that Fabricam company. And I brought that in. I first pass at this report. I'll use it, I think, the second one. I'm going to do a trial balance. And we'll put in, of course, the account number and the description. And make this one nice and wide. It's 52 minutes. I'm on Pacific Standard Time after the hour right now. I'm going to go ahead and create this report. So I'm going to use the account summary table. That's that GP summary field. I'm going to drag in the account number, the full one. Have a new row every time that changes. I'll open the description or the account name. Then I'm going to bring in the period balance, the ending period balance. I'm going to do it twice because I'm going to show off my date functions. That's the other half of the metadata we've done. We don't name our periods January, February, March. We do, you know, period to date, year to date. I'm going to make the year to date. I'll make column E last year to date. I'll do a variance. And then the formula is simple Excel, D, hitting the minus sign, clicking E. And believe it or not, I have finished this report. I'm going to take just a couple of seconds and do bold and underline, extremely big font, and I'll take these amounts, make it accounting. I don't like decimal places, so 2 clicks and I get rid of those. Pick my period. Fabricam likes to, at 9:54 Pacific time, I've gone ahead and finished my report, at least the first batch. So it didn't take long. I have all of my accounts here. I can take any of those, and that makes that up. It's a standard drill down. That's not a, you know, second report that has to be linked or something like that. So there's the first version of my report. I'm going to add an extra thing to it. But the first thing I also wanted to let you know, it's one account. Of course, it's a trial balance. This is a self-maintaining report. Add 3 more GL accounts. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take this account category number. Hopefully that's a field you use inside your GP. Management Reporter uses it. FRX didn't see it, so sometimes it wasn't used. So I'm going to drag the account category number in. I'm going to open this up, and there's an account category period balance, and I'll drag it over again. I'll take this formula, and I'll just do the Excel copy and paste there. And then I'm going to finally bring in this layout editor, kind of what BI, and show you something you got to go to training to do. But I'm going to open up and drag this account category to surround or envelope the GL account number row. So what I've done is made an auto subtotaling report. So I'm going to do one last thing here, and I like to also use the Excel group ungroup feature here, the account number at that point, and kind of give it a nice little light blue color or whatever color I want to. These are the GL account categories. I kind of just wanted to show them to you for a minute. You're allowed to change and add those as you wish, so that's not a permanent thing. I'm going to leave it blank. I get them all. And I want you to watch this report as I do it. So now that I've run this, I have a summarized, rip it up and see all my accounts here. Or kind of take the cash, take a look at those, take any of these, and interactively look at the report. It's kind of one of my favorite ways to take a without sacrifice. The group ungroup feature and kind of so I now have a self subtotaling report. So how many people are taking time in FRX and Management Reporter to do their ranges, total each one, print it, get 20 or some rows to print, and then each month, if as a new natural account gets added, or maybe a new profit center location grant, something like that, you've got to go back and update those reports. So our goal is largely self-subtotaling, self-maintaining reports. Doesn't always happen. People have unique requirements in how they want to put things, but I wanted to do that. So I'm going to do one last thing, a third pass at this report, and that is that I'm going to do this division or department area. So I'm going to take the division, kind of drag that up here, and then I'm going to bring that in. We'll kind of take the division a second time and have a name. We'll plop that over there as well, and then I'm going to drag the division, highlight that first, drag in the division report. So again, I have those divisions, department if you want to think of it that way too. I will make a new parameter. It's going to ask each time what divisions you want. I have a couple of choices in how I show that. I can allow multiple selections, and with that I can create a sheet per value, and I wanted to show you what that's going to look like. It can be very handy in what I do. So again, we'll do all the divisions with a name, and let's go ahead and run that. So take a look here at the bottom and also on top on row 4. So that's going to expand, and now I have one for 100, 200, 300. Again, the names change. Trial balance, excuse me, and can take a look at those as I want to. I didn't do the 00, which is the really long one, but easy way to do that. So add a new division. It automatically shows up in the report, kind of the neat stuff. Again, can format this how you want to. I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to take in this one and make that the accounting too, so those were not running with the commas. Some accountants really don't like numbers without commas, and I don't blame them. So there we go, $50,000 with the commas and so on and the dollar signs. Okay, so in less than, I think that was 8 minutes to do that. So 3 versions of the report, that's always there. We can put that in and again work with it as well. So that's all part of the general ledger system if we wanted to. Any questions before I put that away?
So Tom, just let me jump in real quick. So what you did there was you broke it out by division, which happened to be a segment in your chart of account structure. So just to kind of reiterate that for everyone on the phone, no matter what you call your segments, so for our NFP friends out there, if those were funds or projects or services or anything along those lines, any segment in your chart of account structure, you would be able to do that and then get individual reports for each one of those individual segments. So,
absolutely, could do it on these user-defined fields if someone preferred to do that as well. All right, so let me move on. I'll show another report that's already done just to kind of give an idea of something we can do. I kind of have a full list of reports. All of these are available to people to use, and we're going to do the balance sheet. Sorry, it took me more than 1 second to find that. So before I run this one, and again, it's not very complex. I did some things like I did the trial balance. I have the GL details there or not. I didn't put the GL account number necessarily, just the description. Some people that works well. Sometimes they have 2 or 3 accounts with the exact same description, so you don't want to do that. But again, I'm going to go ahead and run this. So doing the query out, bringing that Fabricam data back. Again, here's my assets, liability, equity. Didn't use a lot of color in, again, the 2. Again, same here in some of the liabilities. If I wanted to see the compensation stuff, we can see those in more detail. I think somebody put the yes on the no transactions underneath, and that's fine. If I want, and if I haven't, go ahead here, and if I wanted to drag in the GL account number, again, that's kind of the thing I like to do, then I could go ahead and do that. And maybe I only want to do it on the rows with the account number here, and so on. So you can see, so here it is for the cash and so on. Didn't do it for all of them, but so an easy way to help change and make these reports and make them your own. You want to add a months, you could do that as well. So I'm about 35 minutes in, so that is primarily what I wanted to show in terms of this GL only bundle. I'm going to take the next couple of minutes and just show a little of what else we can do. And I'm going to start that with one of my payables reports. So as I said before, but our other 2 options, you get reporting off of all the modules of Dynamics GP, that can sure help. I can go to purchasing here. I'm going to run this report for a minute, and then I'll kind of maybe tweak it, make it a little bit report. So again, I have the vendor number and name and again, date and amount. Anything over $25,000, we stuck that not quite pink, not quite red color, so that stood out to us. I'm going to go ahead and change this a little, so I'll open up these payables transactions. What to do is I'm going to move that vendor name up to the green area. I'm going to put the city up there too, because every once in a while I have the same vendor name in different cities. And do that. Then I will put that away. And I'm going to go ahead. I have the document date, which is here, but I'll drag the document number in. And I'm going to go ahead and do that transaction description as well. Someone made a good suggestion the last time I did this to put in the due date, because GP doesn't always include the document date and the due date on the same report. So anyway, so there we go, a little bit different. Got our name at the top, got all of our numbers, got the description. Hopefully you have a lot more like expense report number as opposed to that good old Fabricam beginning balance stuff. But again, a neat way to show if you want to or not. But all of that payables data is available for you. All of the, again, if you do sales orders, if you do purchase requisitions, if fixed assets, HR payroll, we have security. I can make people not see it if they're not supposed to. Okay, and then kind of the next level up, the next thing I'll show for a minute is we have a portal that goes along with this as well that can include dashboards. Again, they are just graphical representations of data out of this. They're live. You see them recalculating right now. This one only has budget data on it, but we'll go ahead and it's recalculating this. Hopefully it didn't tell me I waited too long and auto-logged me out. Nope, we're good. So top 10 expense categories. Sometimes people like to, have their nice short list of the ones you keep your eye on the most. This includes a drill down, so if I click here, it will drill down to the GL account level. Let me take a look at those. If I hover over, I get an amount. Again, kind of a trend over the whole year. And then last, this includes budgeting. This is our live ERP budgeting, it's called. But as simple as it sounds, it lets you type in numbers and save them. And in this case, it's saving it right to the ERP budget tables to help you put in budget information. I can talk a lot about that. I won't today, but I did want to let you know that this exists. It's now rerunning the report and showing it to me after it's saved. So I'll give a second for that to come back as well. But again, this is in a browser. This is not Excel. It's actually doing a front end of Excel, so it's very helpful for people in organizations that have multiple, or people on the road visiting those locations, and so on. Okay. All right. So combining all of that together and kind of the last big thing that we have that can take us to very high things is to use a data warehouse. And that's really when people tell me, and I hear it a good bit with GP, that only stores some of what I have. I have a customer relationship management system. I have a membership management system. I have an industry-specific sales system or purchasing system. Payroll's outsourced. Something else is outsourced to whoever and whatever site out there in the cloud. bring all of that together in a data warehouse, use these same tools to do the reporting, to do it if you want to budgeting, and then that will combine things together. So it takes time to get all of that together and right, but the power can be amazing, especially for those folks where Dynamics is only a part of the story, not the entire story. Okay, so that's the presentation that I wanted to do. I saved a couple of minutes for some questions, and or even to show another report or two if I have time to do that. So, Michael, are there any questions?
Got a couple here. The first one is kind of a softball for you, Tom. I don't even know if I should bother asking you this one. The customer says, you know, we run into issues with MR having to rebuild the data mart all the time. So will we have to rebuild the data mart using your tool?
No. So first, we are live into Dynamics for our reporting, especially on this initial system. So there is no need for a data mart. FRX didn't use a data mart as well. If you get our multi-company module, that creates a separate table for that, again using more the FRX model to do that, and that does not include a data mart. In our larger systems, that data warehouse is there, but we have not had problems with updating that Microsoft has. So great question, and one I've certainly heard before.
All right. Next question is, we have a couple customers who are still using the MDA codes, multidimensional analysis. So need the MDA codes as well. I know we can do analytical accounting as well, but how about the MDA?
Actually, yes, the MDA is there. So if I open this up again to kind of show all the stuff's there. Now, Fabricam 2013 database doesn't have any data for it, but yes, our multidimensional codes and groups are there, and we can do reporting on that if you have it. So, so great question to do that. Same with analytical accounting if everyone's moved up a few years to that as well. Great question.
Another question came in. How do we distribute the reports to others within our organization? So you've been showing us here how we do everything in Excel. Get this information out to others.
Great question.
And I know we have.
Let me go back to the first report that I did. So I have again really 3 ways to do that. The first, the one I showed, is if they're an power user or an end user, they can run this on demand by themselves, given their security setup is the only limitation, and then they can run this as I did before. But the other thing that they can do, and I didn't show this, is they can publish this. So if I click publish and run this report, I'm now publishing at 1:15 Eastern this version of the report for 2014-03, and again, we do stick that at the top. I can save this as any Excel report. We've stripped down our right-click drill down, but that's all we've done. And then you can put this on a shared drive, submit it to SharePoint, email it to some people as you want to do that. We even have a publisher tool that allows you to string those reports together and auto-mail them if you wish at the end of the month, end of the week, when you say, I'm done with the month, run now button. And I'll show that for a second as well. Certainly helps when there's over 10 people who are getting these reports. So I have my existing subscription, and if I take a look at this, so I have in this case, 3 reports batched together, a P&L, a balance sheet, a cash flow. I can run those together to either email or a folder, either as an Excel or a PDF, or again, a few other choices. And for the end of month, most people choose the Run Now button after they've posted and proofed the last transactions for the month, but you can also set it up to automatically run on a certain day of the month or something else. That's very popular for if there's any weekly reports or post-payroll reports that you want to run. You can do that as well. So great question. And this is actually some functionality that I believe FRX had that MR didn't get into their system, at least at the beginning, to automatically mail out reports to people. So great question. Thank you.
Right. And had a question come in, and I'm not, let's see. Okay. Question came in about integrating any of these reports into PowerPoint. So Mer has a bunch of standard presentations that they use, and they want to update the auto tables or auto update any tables or reports they have in there. So how could we do any of that?
Well, first, once this is run, it is Excel, and especially when you publish it, it is Excel data. So I don't know all the different ways you can integrate things from Excel to PowerPoint out there, but you can use all of them. When we do our online reports, and again, I'm not sure I want to, depends why you're doing them in PowerPoint, but you can do that as well. My other favorite thing to do in PowerPoint is to create a link in PowerPoint, and then once I've created the link, send that to one of my dashboards or one of my reports on the system. So that's another way to do that. So multiple options of how to do things in PowerPoint. We've had people do some great kind of boardroom PowerPoint presentations with BI 360, showing not only the summary reports, but having the ability to do a drill down as well. So great question.
Okay. I think those were the questions that I'm seeing right now. So if anyone else has any other questions, please put those in the chat bar. While we wait for those to come in, just first off, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this afternoon. Hopefully you've got a good idea, or at least the beginning of a good idea, as to how Solver BI 360 can be a solution within your organization. We looked at today was, as Tom mentioned, just a small piece of the overall Solver BI 360 suite. There are certainly a lot of other components to it, but if you're just looking for, a quick replacement of MR, or to get some easy ways to get reports into Excel as refreshable Excel reports, to be able to use all of the features and functionality of Excel, but be able to pull the information directly out of GP into those reports, Solver is a great tool to begin that journey. What we looked at today, we can easily add on any of the other tools, any of the other budgeting and forecasting and data warehouse tools and things like that as needed down the road. So, we can always start off small and then, add on as we need to. Everybody always, asks about pricing and everything like that. Tom did share the pricing of what we looked at today, just the live reporting tool component of it. There are a lot of other pieces to it, so if you do have other questions or anything like that, please let us know. Just shoot me an email or shoot an email over to sales@ptcllc.com. And, we certainly would love to have a conversation with you further on this to see if there are other components that might make sense for your organization as well. So with that, Tom, did you have any closing remarks?
Well, of course, you've done several implementations of this with your client base so far, so you know how to work with the system and you know how to creatively use it, and that's the number one thing I want to have people think about. Don't necessarily think about how you can recreate the same reports you've had now and for years, but also what reports are you not doing through FRX or Management Report, or doing the hard way manually through Excel, or exporting a smart list and rearranging the data into something else, or manually looking up data in inquiry windows and typing it into Excel or PowerPoint or something else. So think a little more big picture at your reporting. It doesn't have, I showed mostly GL reporting today. I showed mostly this year, last year, but we don't have a limit on number of years. We don't have a limit on number of fields and columns and rows that can be used in this. So add some creativity and ask what you can do to push this a little bit. I do appreciate the time, and hope to see everybody around the channel.
All right. And remember, please keep an eye out for further webinars around the Solver tool. Hopefully, probably in mid-January, we will be going more in-depth into the budgeting and forecasting components of this as well. If you have it before then, please let us know, and we can certainly sit down and go through it with you. But just wanted to throw that out there that we will be going through that in more detail at a later point as well. So again, thank everyone for their time today. Thank you, Tom, for your time, and we look forward to speaking with everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.